That boy getting lit. Woo! Bruh, I'm telling you, y'all need to go subscribe to Renewed Gospel right now, man. I'm telling you right now, where my banner ain't going. You need to go subscribe to Renewed Gospel right now. That's an unreleased track, man. I'm saying I might drop it on Renewed Gospel, I might not. But appreciate y'all for coming. Welcome back, my savages, dirty birds, savages. I need y'all to hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friends about that money, man. You already know, because we getting into this thing right now. And the biggest news on the Falcons, man, y'all already seen it. Y'all already know about it. Kirk Cousins officially announced that the Falcons gonna release him. I told y'all, man, until they actually do it, I ain't gonna believe it. But it looks like they actually gonna do it. And the GM came out and said they not gonna re-sign Kirk Cousins at all. So they moving in a new direction. And whatever plan they got, I don't know if Michael Penix is in it, because the Atlanta Falcons just got so much news. And here's what it all means. I'm telling you right now, man. Michael Penix, he might be gone. Even with them clearing out that space, it's more of the money thing with Kirk Cousins. Because if Kirk Cousins was on a decent contract, I think they'll keep him. But with Kirk Cousins being on that contract he is, and how much money they were gonna have to pay him, and they still got to pay him some void years, I don't see, like the GM said, they not bringing them back, even on a smaller deal. I didn't see Kirk Cousins going for that anyway. That wouldn't have made no sense for Kirk Cousins to get released by the team and then re-sign with him. I don't know why they would even happen, but it was out there. But I had showed y'all the $52 million cap space that I created for the Atlanta Falcons. So it's looking like a lot of other players about to get released. They just released Cardale Hodge. They just released him. The Falcons just released him, the wide receiver, and it's looking like they about to release Darnell Mooney. I'm just throwing out some names, but I think Darnell Mooney is going to be one that they will release next, because if they do release him, they're going to create maybe $12 million in cap space. And he was one of the names that I think I did release on the $52 million Atlanta Falcons cap space. If y'all didn't watch that video, you need to go watch it. But yeah, so, and then another name that came up that I was listening to that was, they were talking about Clark Phillips, the cornerback. He might also be getting released, man. So the Falcons, they in that mode with the GM. They trying to create that cap space so they can make some moves. So they can make some moves in in the free agency. I couldn't think of what it was, but here it is right here. That's what I was looking for. I apologize for the lag. The Wi-Fi is weak where I'm at. I'm telling y'all right now, man. The Atlanta Falcons would designate Kirk Cousins a post-6-1 release on March 11th. They'll carry his $24.6 million cap figure into June, then take on dead hits of $22.5 million in 2026 and $12.5 million in 2027. $10 million of that is guaranteed roster bonus with offset language attached to it. Cousins will be free agent. Will be free to sign elsewhere once the designation is made on March 11th. So they didn't straight out release Kirk Cousins. They put him as a post June 1st release. So that's the cap breakdown. They're gonna get hit for $22.5 million for 2026, then $12.5 million in 2027. So y'all like, money man, how they gonna get hit with a 2027 when he ain't on the team? It's called void years. So that's what it is. Why would they let Caden Ellis walk? They said, what I heard was about Caden Ellis is the GM said they gonna put out a number. They're gonna give Caden Ellis a number. And if he don't accept that number, he wants some more money, they got a limit to where they gonna go with Caden Ellis. And then if he go past that number, they letting him walk. They letting them walk. They right now they trying to be strategic and getting out of this Kirk Cousins contract and creating more cap spaces, as much cap space as possible, so they can maneuver how they want to maneuver. And the thing I'm thinking they maneuvering to maneuvering to do. There it is, right there. Y'all know country folk. Maneuvering to do is signing a quarterback to replace Michael Penix and going to get another receiver. If not drafting a receiver, but I think they're gonna end up going to get a quarterback. They're gonna try their hand. They trying to get a quarterback. I don't know who it's gonna be. I done heard Kyler Murray. I done heard Tua. If the Falcons somehow get any of them two quarterbacks, Penix is done. They will have to go trade for somebody that was going to back up Penix, because what the GM said and what Kevin said, I don't even believe what Kevin said, but what the GM said, it didn't give me a strong indication that they believe Michael Penix is going to be ready for week 1. Like I told you, I don't care what Michael Penix said. I don't care what the player say, man. The player always going to say he's ready to play. But they're going to be up to the coach, the GM, and their doctor. So maybe Michael Penix ain't as far along in that rehab as they think, or what he had told us on them interviews. He said he was ahead of schedule. Maybe, I'm thinking he's saying that because he ended up putting out that post because he know his job in jeopardy. And some people probably relieved that they releasing Kirk Cousins. I'm thinking it's just worse. I'm thinking it's just getting worse. So Michael Penix, they might be moving off of him, man, because the either way, I'm gonna say it again for the one that ain't been here, the one that been in the back. That's why y'all need to like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird 70. Because man, ain't telling straight up like it is. I don't like Kevin. I don't believe in Kevin, and I think Kevin be lying until he prove me otherwise. Who you gonna trade? How you gonna trade for DJ Moore? That's what I just about to say. How you gonna trade for Kyler Murray and Tua? They still on the roster until they get released from their current team. You gonna have to trade for them quarterbacks, and the only one that potentially might get released is Tua. I ain't looked at it. And where they moving, but them two quarterbacks right there, right now, they would have to get released because the Falcons don't have draft capital to trade. You traded away your first round pick for this year to get James Pierce Jr. Now that done went down the drain, and so what you gonna trade to get DJ Moore? Because I'm pretty sure Chicago probably gonna ask for maybe a third rounder, and I don't think you want to trade that. You want to trade a 4th, 5th, 6th, or a 7th for him. And the Falcons only got 5 picks, so unless you straight up trade him for Darnell Mooney or something like that, but it's still gonna come down to the numbers. Either way, it's gonna come down to the numbers. Like I said, this new GM, they coming in trying to straighten out their salary cap and get them books right on the salary cap so they can supposedly build this team or go sign. The only thing I can say is maybe they go sign some extra linemen, get a receiver. But the biggest splash I think they getting set up for is a quarterback. And now, I don't know who that quarterback is. And the only one that might be offering, demanding big numbers is Malik Willis. And I done heard his name come up too with the Falcons. But then some other folk talking about he might be going to the Miami Dolphins. So if Malik Willis end up going to the Miami Dolphins, that means Tua getting released. And then if Tua getting released, then that means he's coming to Atlanta, in my opinion. But I don't know how true none of this is. This all speculation. Everybody's still speculating. But like I said, this right here, I'm gonna play y'all this clip because this duet don't give me confidence in the GM believing, and Kevin Stefanski believing Michael Penix gonna be ready for week 1.
Obviously we'll get the medical here. Those are really the most important things, just to get in front of the players, get the medical, and then have a chance to kind of build some rapport with the staff that I'm looking forward to.
Ian, you mentioned on the radio that the decision with Kirk was in part about fairness to Mike. Does that mean you feel like you need to clear the decks is the wrong word, but create a place for him to say, you're our guy, we believe in you, this is your team?
Yeah, maybe I meant in fairness to Kirk and Mike, his agent, not Michael Penix. Yeah, so
okay.
Thank you for allowing me to clarify that. Yeah, just in fairness, out of respect for Kirk and Mike and his Mike McCartney and his career, just felt like that was the best decision for us.
Where do you stand on Penix? And obviously his health is a question mark, so you do have to have something as a backup quarterback. Is Kirk still an option? And with a re-sign, how do you approach that?
Yeah, we won't re-sign Kirk. But Mike, we're just really concerned about him and his health and making sure that he's as healthy as possible going into OTAs and going into the season.
Walk us through.
There it is right there. Man, look here. I told y'all the biggest thing for Michael Penix is to get healthy. That's the biggest thing. But being that the biggest thing, that probably going to set him back in the playbook and learning how to play on the center in this Kevin Stefanski offense. They're probably going to set him back. So that's why I expect them to be looking for a quarterback. And then that anonymous source that done came out and said the Falcons is looking for a quarterback, that tell me even more that Kevin Stefanski is the one putting out that information already about Michael Penix not being ready to play for week 1. Y'all can take it how it is, man. I'm just telling you what I done seen. Tell my other channel, Money Man, you already know. Y'all go subscribe over there. We talking about Shedeur Sanders over there. Like I tell my other channel, when I was covering Cleveland and Shedeur last year, this past football season, I said, don't listen to what they say. Judge them based off their actions, because they can say a lot of things and do the other thing, because your actions speak louder than words. Now, the GM has said this gonna be the last time the Falcons ever have 5 picks. Like you say that now, bro. But show it with your actions. Let me see what you gonna do. I gotta see it to believe it with me, because I done been lied to too many times, and I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
What is that like? It's his first role at this very important gig.
It's awesome. And to Matt's credit, you'd think he's been doing this for 30 years. And maybe he has. Maybe the truth is he's been doing this his whole life, because as the quarterback, you're the leader of the team. In a lot of ways, you're the leader of the franchise. And that's a role that he's been in damn near his whole life. And so it comes very naturally to him. Very intelligent, emotional intelligence, off the charts. So I've been very impressed, obviously.
All right. So I'll ask the same question that I asked Robert Saleh. It's his second run at being a head coach. How are you going to take your experiences from Cleveland into Atlanta and maybe say, I'm not going to do it that way anymore?
I would hope that I'm taking every experience really from year to year and month to month and game to game and trying to become a better version of myself. And there's obviously, you look back over 6 seasons in Cleveland, there's a ton of stuff I'm proud of, and there's things that I would definitely do differently. Some of them are really small things, some of them are big things, and I think if you have the right mindset, if you have the right growth mindset, the humility to say, like, hey, I'm not a finished product, I think you can take that with you and use it to your benefit. Now, to say that you're not going to make another mistake, that's not realistic. I mean, you're not going to be perfect at this thing, but I certainly feel more comfortable after 6 seasons of doing this in my chair. Like,
well, what's the small thing? What's the big thing that you're going to?
Doing interviews with Rich Eisen seem a lot.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just comfort in everything and decisions that you make. Comfort in putting a coaching staff together. I would tell you, Rich, being in the league now, being a head coach for 6 seasons, being in the league, you feel confident in knowing what your roster needs from a coaching perspective. So putting that staff together was something that I felt really strongly about.
All right, Kevin Stefanski here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who's your quarterback going to be?
Well, it's February, so
that doesn't matter. You can't ask me to be nuanced, Kevin.
I'm very excited about Michael Penix, as you can imagine. Now, what's most important to Michael, and he knows this, and he's done an amazing job, is rehab.
Yes,
and he's getting healthy, and he's attacking his rehab. So I'm proud of where he is right now. He's definitely still has work to go, but he's just got to keep his head down. So he's doing.
And then, do you have a plan if Kirk Cousins is available, or he will not be available? Or I know what's being reported out there. Right
I think those are all things.
Like I said, man, it ain't looking good for Michael Penix. Maybe it's just me, but I don't like none of them answers. I don't like none of them answers because the reason why I don't like none of them answers is Michael Penix, the only quarterback on the roster. Now that you better release Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix is the only quarterback on the roster. And you being the GM and the head coach cannot commit and tell me as a Falcon fan, you can't come out and tell me that Michael Penix is the starter for the 2026 season. He the only quarterback on the roster. And you can't tell me straight up that we believe in Michael Penix. He will be the starting quarterback for week 1. From moving forward, he is the starting quarterback. That's why I make it hard to believe that Michael Penix is going to still be Atlanta Falcon. Because they keep talking about the rehab. The man that said the man came out and said that he good. He gonna be ready. The GM and the coach don't think so. So I guarantee you, Matt Ryan don't think so. So guess what they're gonna do? If the Falcons don't draft a quarterback this year, I know they're gonna draft one in 2027. But they might make a run at Malik Willis now. Because I ain't saying Malik Willis is that guy and nothing like that, but he the hot commodity, supposedly, from the media. He the hot commodity right now in free agency, unless you're going to go out there and sign Russell Wilson, Jimmy Garoppolo, Kevin gonna bring Kenny Pickett in, Joe Flacco, Zach Wills, and Trey Lance. Unless you're going to get one of them, I think they're going to make a shot at Malik Willis. But I don't know how much money they want to tie up in Malik Willis because he charging $35 million. And they just free agent franchise tag Kyle Pitts. They dropped the cap space down to $10 million after they gave Kyle Pitts that $16 million. So now that's why they about to release Kirk Cousins. They just released Hodge, and they about to release Darnell Mooney or trade him, and they probably gonna release Clark Phillips and maybe some other players. So Caden Ellis might walk. That's what I'm saying, bro. Gap boy. That's what I'm saying. That's how much they projected Malik Willis might make. His agent might ask for 35 and a half or up to 35 million for 2 years, a 2-year contract. Like 70 million or something like that. I had brought it up, but the internet moving too slow, so I ain't really want to open up all these tabs because it's gonna slow it down. That's why I'm lagging now showing these videos. But Louis Riddick right here. You know, he a little NFL reporter. Played in the NFL. He don't believe in Michael Penix as the long-term answer.
Right. All the questions going still. You think he's the guy for Atlanta? And the coach who's not really going to give us much, but this has a lot of health questions ongoing still. You think he's the guy for Atlanta moving forward?
No, personally, I don't. I understand. Look, you nailed it. Look, obviously, Kevin's trying to kind of buy himself some time. He's saying, hey, look, we'll work through that. He's just trying to get healthy. We're just going through our process, whatever other buzzword that you want to use. The fact of the matter is, though, they don't have anybody healthy and or on their roster under contract that they could line up right now and play a regular season game with and win a game. Now, I understand that we're still in February and we're just about to start the new league year. But we're talking about the most important position on the roster. And we're talking about the guy who's coming back having a long, extensive injury history. And we're talking about a whole new regime here. And we're talking about a guy who's running the personnel department in Matt Ryan, who is a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. He's not going to go into the season with these kind of questions. I think they are going to be in the market for a veteran signal caller. I think they're obviously going to look at the draft and see if they could find some kind of value there. But you're going to tell me like a guy like Malik Willis wouldn't make sense in Kevin Stefanski's offense, considering the offense that he's just coming from in Green Bay and the carryover it would have in Atlanta? Matt Ryan's going to make a big move here because he knows how important the position is.
Yeah, it's a good point. And we're going to put Malik Willis on a lot of teams until he's on an actual team.
Like I just said, I think the Falcons clean up their cap space because they're going to get a lot of cap space from releasing Kirk Cousins. And they probably going to release Darnell Mooney to save 12 more million just by releasing him. So between them two, releasing Kirk Cousins and Darnell Mooney, they done probably created maybe about 40 million, close to 40 million. I'm thinking, I can't remember the exact number, but I'm thinking they creating at least about $40 million worth of cap space right there, or close to 40 million. Might be a little under, might be about 25, 30, 35 million, somewhere around there. But what I'm saying is they trying to create their cap space so they can make some moves in this free agency. And I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons draft a quarterback this year based on that this supposedly a weak quarterback class, and the only top quarterback is supposedly Fernando Mendoza, but that's a whole different story, a whole different video. But I can see the Falcons looking at in the 4th round, maybe even the 3rd round, because that's what Kevin liked to pick his quarterbacks in the 3rd round. Maybe even in the 3rd or 4th round, I can see the Falcons going quarterback. And the names to look for, because we're going to be live during the draft. So I need y'all to like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savages. So in April, we're going to be live for the draft and see who the Falcons pick in the second round on the 2nd day. We're going to be live the 2nd day. But I will be live on my other channel, Money Man, you already know, in the 1st round to see what the Cleveland Browns do. But I can see Carson Beck, Garrett Nussmeier, and Clay Klubnik. Them some names y'all need to have in the back of your mind. And I can see the Falcons probably going after Carson Beck. I really do think they might go after Carson Beck because he fit the bill. To me, he fit the bill for a Kevin Stefanski offense. He an older quarterback that done been around. I don't know about Drew Eller because he hurt. He got hurt. That's why I ain't named him, because they don't want to put themselves back in that same situation. But I can see Carson Beck being a main target for the Falcons because he's an older quarterback. He's been in college football, played college football for a lot of years. Do this remind y'all of somebody in Cleveland that Kevin Stefanski drafted? Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel played in college 6-7 years. That was the main point they loved about Dylan Gabriel. He played in college a long time and got a lot of experience in college, and they've been in a lot of systems. So it's the same thing with Carson Beck. And I think the Falcons might try to get him in the 3rd or the 4th round. Maybe the 3rd to go ahead and secure him if some other teams might be looking at him, because Carson Beck ain't played bad this season. You know what I'm saying? He fell off that last year at Georgia. But I think that down there in Miami did him some good, rated draft stock back up. Because Carson Beck was a 1st round pick at one point. Like a lot of these dudes, good, Garrett Nussmeier and Clay Klubnik, all of them were projected 1st round at the beginning of the year, but they played horrible. But the only one that really played the best is Carson Beck, out of them. And I really do think Carson Beck played better than Fernando Mendoza in the national championship, but just because Indiana had that number 1 defense, to lead that team to the national championship, Miami, that's a lot. That's a lot. But if Trinidad, the Ole Miss quarterback, if he were coming out, I could have seen the Falcons looking at him too. But he really ain't. He ain't the prototypical type for the Kevin Stefanski offense, Trinidad. But Carson Beck is. He a big quarterback, experienced quarterback, older quarterback. Probably don't need too much developing on his own. But because he's been around the way. But at the same time, I don't believe Kevin know how to develop quarterback. That's just my opinion based on what I done seen. But y'all can make y'all own opinion. But on the other side, I see the Falcons probably going second round. I done watched a couple videos. They said the Falcons might go edge rusher in the second round. I don't know. I think the Falcons need to go get a free agent edge rusher, like a vet, a true vet that been in the league that could pull their handle down. That's why the air ain't on. I can see the Falcons going a veteran at that edge rusher, so they can replace James Pierce because they don't know what's gonna happen with James Pierce. But I done made plenty of videos. But I said right here, I think James Pierce is gone. I don't think he's gonna be an Atlanta Falcon. I don't think he's gonna be in the league at all. Be honest, he might even get locked up. But that ain't my decision. That's just my opinion. But I definitely think he ain't gonna be an Atlanta Falcon. So that first round pick gone. But that's just my opinion, man. But I got a lot of thoughts on what this season gonna be, and like I say, I'm still optimistic. Even I don't like Kevin, but this conference is so weak that the Falcons can mess around and win this conference. But it can go either way with me, man. It can go either way. It's gonna still depend on what they do in the draft and who they pick up at free agents. Now they can get Max Crosby or Bradley Chubb or Jalen Phillips, somebody like a vet edge rusher that I know can get you at least 5 sacks. Maybe even 7, just off rip. You know what I'm saying? I don't really need that 10.5. But if they can create pressure and replace that immediately, then yeah. But the Falcons definitely going receiver. And I don't know who they actually looking at. Maybe they draft that receiver in the second round. Maybe they draft him in the third or the fourth round. But if they, because the GM said he was high on receiver, so they could make that second pick a receiver if they do what I just said. Go get a vet edge rusher, which I think they should do. But I think the Falcons do go second round. If the Falcons get the edge out of free agency, they go second round pick. They pick a receiver, probably Amari Cooper out of Indiana, or I could see him go Branch out of Georgia. They could go Chris Bell out of Louisville. The Tennessee boy, I forgot what the name was, big tall receiver in Tennessee. They could go him. But Branch, based on what the GM said, Branch might be that guy where they can move him around because he's like that slot. You can put him in the slot, X, Y. You can put him everywhere all over the field. You can put him at all 3 positions, X, Y, and Z. You can put him all over the field. I think with a cat like that, with the athletic ability and the speed, and you can create mismatches, with him. But the Elijah Strat, I don't know how I say it last name. He's from Indiana too. I really like him. But I more like him for Cleveland though. But he could come to Atlanta. But they might be maybe a 4th round pick. Maybe. I don't know if he might fall that far. But then that boy out of Georgia State, I done heard some stuff about him, Ted Hurst. I think that's what his name is. And the other thing before I get off, I don't know in the past what the Falcons were thinking is you had the Georgia Bulldogs win 2 back-to-back national championships, and you did not draft not one player from that team. That makes no sense to me. They right up the road in the same state, and you don't draft no player from that team. That's why Philadelphia, they call them the SEC and where Big Ten, where SEC or the NFL, because they drafted all SEC players, and you know what type player you're gonna get that done played in the SEC. Because somebody asked the question to the GM about Georgia players, Georgia Bulldog players, and where he think them and Kirby Smart and all that. So I think they need to draft some more SEC players, if not Georgia players, even some Alabama players. I know Alabama ain't the same it was with Nick Saban, but you know, you find some gems now, especially Georgia Bulldog. Hey man, I ain't the GM, but that just never dawned on me why the Falcons ain't never draft no Georgia player, man. That don't make no sense. It never made no sense because when they drafted Clark Phillips, I was like, they could have went and got Ringo. I think they were the same draft. They might not have been the same draft, but whoever it was, I forgot what corner it was. I think he played at Georgia. The Falcons could have had him, but they went and got Clark Phillips from Utah. I'm like, bro, now the dude don't even play, and he release candidate. That didn't make no sense. Didn't make no sense. But yeah, man, it's just a wait-and-see game. It's just a wait-and-see game. All this a wait-and-see game. We can listen to all these interviews, listen to what they all saying. It's all politics, man. They got to say the right stuff, but they ain't never going to tell you the exact move, what they doing until they do it. You know what I'm saying? They might mess around and trade. I ain't going to say they're going to trade Drake London, but they might mess around and trade Drake London. You don't know. Y'all think he going to stay, but they mess around and trade him because he up for a contract extension too. So they ain't draft Drake London. They ain't got no ties with Drake London. So they could trade him away because they definitely ain't trading Bijan because they're going to have to pay Bijan. I'm just throwing it out there. I ain't saying they're going to do it, but don't be shocked that they do. Because to be honest, for them to accumulate more draft picks, they would probably trade Drake London. You create more draft pick to get a first rounder. I think you can get a first rounder out of Drake London, if not a high second. But I don't think they're gonna do it. I'm just speculating. But that's all it is, man. Like I'm gonna tell y'all before, if y'all just new here, if you ain't heard me talk before, I ain't watched none of my videos, you need to go watch my video. But I'm gonna tell you like that: believe their actions, not what they telling you and what they saying in front of that mic, because everything can change, man. Everything can change. Especially a coach that been lying. And I know he been lying. And he leaking this stuff to the media. Like he already done started in Atlanta, and it's crazy. Anonymous source. He did the same thing in Cleveland, man. A person in the building. You're going to hear a lot of that. A person in the building, inside the Falcons front office. I ain't going to say front office, but inside the Atlanta Falcons facility told me, I heard from. This is about to be funny, man. It's about to be funny. When that man get up there, Kevin Stefanski can say, we just not there yet. We still working through it. We just not there. Just blame me. It's all on me. We got to do better. It's all on me. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all for coming. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tell your friend about the Dirty Bird Savages. Like I said, man, I ain't in the regular studio, so I'm gonna be going live for the rest of this week on Dirty Bird. So that way y'all need to hit that notification bell if you ain't already. And then, like I said, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss another live. But if you do miss it, you can always watch the replay. But I probably won't put out another real video until next week. And probably, hopefully, it'll be some more news out about what's going on with this quarterback situation and James Pierce. Because we're going to give an update by James Pierce, too, to see what's going on. But it really ain't been no news. It really done calmed down as far as being in the news. But it's still a big ongoing situation. If you're a Falcon fan and you want to know the update, I'm going to have it for you when I can find out some more information. But I appreciate y'all for coming. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tell your friend about that Dirty Bird Savage. Y'all already know what time it is.